Alright, welcome back guys, or welcome to your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm giving you guys my review for Power Rangers Beast Morphers episode 15, Grid Connection. Now if Power Rangers is something you're interested in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon there to miss some more Power Rangers videos from me moving forward. Now let's begin. Now this past weekend we finally got to see, in the US at least, the long-awaited Beast Morphers Dino team-up episode. Now when I look at this episode, I honestly, for all the hype that we got for it and everything that was set up since pretty much the return of Beast Morphers, it was pretty much all set up since the return back in September. All the setup, I just felt flat in this episode. There was so much setup, and then I felt like it was just a bit of a letdown. Like, I don't know. I like the idea of I kind of like the setup of them going, and you got Snide and Goldar attacking the Dino Charge universe and getting their energems. That all made sense. Now, the thing that I didn't like was the whole thing regarding Keeper and having visions about the whole thing and how Devin was going to be hit by a meteor or whatever. That just felt so contrived and unnecessary. I would have preferred it if the Dino Charge Rangers had sent him a message saying that they were being attacked and then have them go help them. It would make more sense that way, at least in my opinion. And then you also got Devin, who he's warned that this is going to happen, but then he goes off to do a video game convention thing. Now, in my opinion, I feel like it doesn't fully suit his character at the moment. I feel like it, again, was contrived just to fit the narrative, because I feel like at this point, Devin's the character that, yes, the world's at stake, but he would put that aside to help the Rangers. So I feel like that was just contrived to get him out of the way. But like I said, you got our Beast Morphers team who goes to help the Dino Charge team fight off Goldar and Snide, and I really like that. That was a really cool fight scene. I really loved everything with that. Really good setup and really good all around in regard to that scene. Now, we got Devin, who was hit by a meteor, which I guess Keeper somehow had a vision or whatever and saw him being hit by the meteor or whatever, which it just felt stupid. But in the end, you got him deciding to go, I guess, at a Morph X tower to call out to send out a signal for help. Now, I don't know why, but this just felt weird and out of place in my opinion. I felt like it would make more sense that, like, you can just, like, send a video chat or put out a call. Like, if you remember back at the beginning of the return, when you had Devin, reach out to Dr. K, she was on a video chat. Why couldn't they have done that here with Jason or something? And I feel like that would make more sense. And plus, another thing I didn't really like was he sent out the message, and literally 5 seconds later, Jason shows up. And I like the idea of Jason showing up. We haven't seen Jason in I don't think we've seen him physically since the 10-year anniversary. So it's been at least over 10 years, maybe 15 years. So I'm glad we finally got to see him back. And I don't know, just it felt so rushed with them returning, and it just, I don't know, with him just coming in and just being like, okay, let's go show him what real, Beast Morphers and Dino power is really like. So I felt like that whole thing was just rushed. Meanwhile, in the Dino Charge universe, you got the Rangers who had retreated after their battle with Snide and them. They were outnumbered, and you got them who retreated, as you got Scrazzle and Goldar and the rest of evox's minions working on this idea to create their own megazord. Now, I really like this idea because they learned it previously when they had kidnapped Keeper. So I really liked how that whole thing came all around and connected here. That was perfect. I love that setup. That was fine and great. But then you got our group who is trying to figure out what to do. And this is another thing that I didn't really like, because you got Shelby and you got Riley. Now, their actors didn't come back, but they were there in suit. And this is an issue I kind of had, is that they were there morphed. Meanwhile, the rest of our group is unmorphed. So it kind of just looked stupid and silly for Riley and Shelby to be following them around morphed. Meanwhile, the rest of our group was unmorphed. So it just felt out of place and just weird and out there. And some of the lines even just felt like way out of place and way just forced. Like when they return and tell the group that Evox is making a megazord, and you got Shelby who says, "Oh, like I did once." That whole line delivery just sounded way off. It just sounded weird and out of place there. But then at that moment, you have Devin and Jason who show up in the Dino universe and give them some Dino Chargers and Morphers to help them fight. Now they end up splitting up into two teams, where Jason will lead the Dino Charge Rangers to fight off Goldar, while you got Devin and the Beast Morphers who will go face off against Evox and them. So you got Jason who confronts Goldar, and I really like the back and forth there with Jason and Goldar. Really great stuff. Now, again, this is an issue I have, is where Jason got his Dino, the power coin from. From what I understand, it just came for the grid or whatever. I just felt a little out of place, but at the same time, I'm not totally gonna take off points there. But it's just something where it just felt a little bit out of place. But then you got them showing up. Jason calls out and makes a portal show up, and you got the MMPR Rangers and Dino Thunder Rangers show up through, the portals that they use to, go from different dimensions. And I don't know if I would call it a plot error, but it just doesn't make any sense, because there were two different portals that opened up, one for the MMPR team and one for the Dino Thunder team. Meanwhile, both teams are from the same universe, so why would there be two portals? To me, that just felt like it was out of place. I don't know if it was like an error on their part, but to me, it just felt just like something that was way out of place and something that wasn't necessarily supposed to happen, but that's beside the point. But then you get into the final big battle between the Dino Rangers, which I really liked. I felt like it could have been expanded on more. I don't know if this was due to the whole Sentai footage not being longer, but I feel like it was just too short. And that's just my opinion. And plus, there was one thing that I can't ignore, and one of the biggest things that I didn't like, and it was just a small minute that happened, but at the same time, I'm taking off a lot of points here because it really annoyed me, is that when you had the voice actor, whoever did Connor, he mentioned, as they're getting the weapons together to form their, I forget what it's called in Dino Charge, but their blaster together. The actor mispronounces Tyranno, and it comes off as something completely different. And every time I rewatch that scene, I can't ignore it. It's just out of place there. So I'm taking off points there. But then you got that, and you got the group pretty much coming together. They destroy Goldar and his army. Again, a really short fight. I would have loved to seen some more Jason facing off against Goldar hand to hand. That would have been so awesome. I don't know if that was due to Sentai footage not being there, or just cutting it down due to this being a half-hour episode. So I don't know what that was about. But then you got them facing off. Meanwhile, you got Devin and them who face off against Blaze, who warned Evox that the battle wasn't going well. Now Evox leaves him there to fight off the Beast Morphers Rangers. Now this is another area where there wasn't even a fight between Blaze and Devin. Like, they shoot at the Beast Morphers Rangers, and they all are pretty much badly hurt. And then it's just Devin who uses the Beast X blaster, whatever it's called, to destroy Blaze. That was just so weak. And meanwhile, you got Evox, who used the DNA from dinosaurs and created his own Zord. Now, this was really cool. I did love this, where he had his own Megazord, and then you had the Dino Rangers face off against him in their own Megazord. Now, this is another area where it's kind of tricky, and I don't know how I'm taking off points here, but I am kind of, because if you remember the original Megazord for MMPR, and the Dino Thunder Megazords were destroyed. So how are they back? I don't get this. Is this like time travel, where like the Dino Thunder Rangers taken from a different time point in there? Somehow, it just doesn't make any sense. Both Megazords were destroyed. I can't remember if the Megazord from Dino Chargers destroyed or not, but that's beside the point. But I did like the little battle between them. Again, this could have gone on for a little bit longer. And then you got Devin, who shows up with the Beast X Megazord as the rest of the Rangers are unable to fight. So he brings that Megazord into battle, and he combines it with the Dino Charge Rangers Megazord, and the three Megazords destroy evox Megazord, which is, again, I wish this would have gone on for a longer fight. And pretty much at the end of it all, evox is Megazord's destroyed. He retreats along with the rest of his army, and pretty much that's where it ends. And then you have a nice little end scene with everybody pretty much regrouping, and they pretty much all say goodbye. And I also like how Jason kind of gives a whole speech about how, they will, the new Power Rangers legacy is in good hands with the Beast Morphers team. Then you have this other scene where Devin and Keeper talk about how he didn't listen about the morphing grid. That whole thing regarding Devin and the morphing grid is another thing where it just annoyed me. I feel like it was unnecessary and just annoying. But then pretty much everybody, like I said, at the end of the episode, everybody just leaves the Dino Charger universe and returns to their own universe, and it pretty much ends there. Honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't say I dislike this team up, but it wasn't as great as I would have hoped for it to be. I think it was just like a meh to me. I feel like, honestly, Dimensions in Danger from Super Ninja Steel was a better team up episode to me, or anniversary, whatever you want to call it. It was just way better in my opinion than this. And one of the things I think, again, that hurts all these episodes is that they're not two-parter episodes. I feel like if you had made this episode two parts, expanded it out, it could have been done a lot better. I know I think there's some kind of body switching episode coming up where Nate and Steel switch bodies. I feel like we've gotten so many of those episodes throughout the time as Power Rangers. Why not cut that episode and give us a two-parter here? It would have been so much better. Instead of having Jason show up right then and there, you could have had him show up a little bit later. Maybe he shows up and helps them, comes up with an idea on how to go and help them, instead of just coming right out of some kind of portal out of nowhere and it being rushed. And we could have had a more moment, with him interacting with the Dino Charge Rangers when they first meet. Because when they first show up there, you got Tyler, who's like, oh, we got no time for introductions, we gotta go. I'm like, we couldn't have had maybe spared a few seconds maybe to introduce Jason and have this little moment. And I know I always complain about how they don't do that in times of peril, but at the same time, I feel like it would have been nice to see that here. So that just annoyed me. And one thing, I don't know if this is chopped up to the whole Sentai footage, but I would have loved to seen a moment between Devin and Jason fighting off against Goldar. That would have been an amazing scene to see together. If you remember back to the 10-year anniversary with Forever Red, you had these moments where you had Jason helping Cole and them fighting off against one of the villains of that episode, and you had Jason, pretty much showing him the ropes and being helping him as the rookie. I would have loved to seen that here between Devin and Jason. I feel like we got a hint of that when they first met up, but at the same time, it would have been great to see the two of them face off against Goldar and help fight off there. And again, this is another thing that another part that annoyed me. I don't know if, again, it's up to Sentai. Again, I don't watch Sentai, but I don't know if it was due to Sentai, but it would have been cool to see the Beast Morphers team fight off against Goldar's army with the Dino Rangers. That would have been such a great scene. If I had to give this episode or team up a rating for overall, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. Certain things definitely could have improved on. Again, it being a two-parter would have made it better, but it was still an okay to meh team up, and again, just 7 out of 10 for me. But that's just my thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you thought of the Grid Connection team up episode for Power Rangers Beast Morphers in the comment section down below. So yeah, guys, that's my review of Power Rangers Beast Morphers episode Grid Connection. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. There to miss some more Power Rangers content from me moving forward. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which are linked in the back section of my YouTube channel. As always, it's been Vision here with Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.